No problem.
Yes, guys, welcome to Cardiff City World. I'm Si, and I'm delighted to kick off our South Wales Derby week build-up with a little chat with none other than my good friend, Mr. Willie Boland. How are you, my friend?
Very good, Simon. Nice to see you again. Nice to catch up with you. Obviously, big week for the club leading into a game like that. I imagine everybody's excited, especially with the run the boys run at the moment. So a lot of excitement and hopefully a positive result at the end of it as well at the week.
Yeah, it'd be nice to go into the international break with 3 or 4 wins on the bounce, unbeaten in sort of 5 or 6. But these derby games they're always tricky, and there's something different about them. The big games. And then when we were talking yesterday, you said you only ever played in one South Wales derby, but it was a final nonetheless.
Yeah, I've never experienced the real atmosphere that would come with, a South Wales derby in a league situation. Back in the day, which is a long time ago now, so as you know, when I played for Cardiff, we never really crossed paths in the league. We were kind of on the ascendancy, and they were a bit on the decline back then. Both clubs have come a long way since and been in the Premier League and obviously now in the Championship. But it's great to see because, for South Wales football, it's great to have these two clubs in and around that area, and especially having those two fixtures, it gives the fans something to look forward to. And the rivalry is obviously clear to see. Any time the teams play, they're normally on Sky Live because they know obviously the rivalry that's involved in it. And I've watched a few games past on the TV, and you can see throughout the games how passionate they are and how much it means to the fans, and that'll be going through the players and managers' minds as well. You always want to try and keep a calm head going into games like this. The occasion can take over on occasions, and I'm sure the game at the weekend, with the current results, the way Cardiff would, they'll have to really, for the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, try and calm the game down, try and kill the atmosphere, try and stamp their authority on the game. They'll have the confidence at the moment with the results that they've had, whereas Swansea will be looking at it thinking, right, get these, they're only 4 or 5 points off the relegation, so they'll be under a bit of pressure. So I think if Cardiff go into the game with the mindset that, listen, we have to try and control this game, control our emotions, be calm, impose ourselves on the game and not let them get at us, then that would be the way that's Cardiff should and will probably approach it. First 15, 20 minutes will be vital just to kill it off and try and slow the pace of the game down and try and control it.
Yeah, Cardiff have been very good at that away from home this year. They've had almost like the perfect away plan where they keep it tight for sort of 60, 70 minutes and then try and, hit teams on the break. And I think that works in a derby game, particularly, like you say, that first 15, 20 minutes is difficult. In your experience, I know you said you only played that one South Wales derby, but in the big games where there is those kind of rivalries with clubs close by, do the players know how much it means to the fans and the people in the areas?
Certainly. Obviously, the build-up with the press exposure, there's always that added more interest. There's always a little bit more exposure on the press, the local press especially, with the in hand. And, I played in a couple of games against Bristol City as well, who wouldn't be Cardiff's biggest friends either. So there was quite a few of those humdingers as well, where you can sense the atmosphere from the. Now I was lucky to play at Ninian Park, where the atmosphere on the bigger grounds now isn't as intense and it doesn't really seep as much onto the pitch. But you can certainly feel the energy before the game, during the game, and even if you're losing sometimes against different opposition rather than a local rival, you still feel that come on, let's get back into this game. They really don't want to. This one game they don't want to lose, and you can sense that from the fans during the game as well, and obviously before the game. There's no better feeling when you get a big result against a local team. I mean, the fans go home so happy, and it gives you satisfaction as well, knowing that you can go home at the weekend knowing that everybody's happy around the area, around the club, and it's a big plus for everybody involved. And an added bonus here is Cardiff, and if they do go down there and win, they've done the double over Swansea, which I haven't done a lot of research, but it's a long time since I have done that, if they have done that. So that would be that the icing on the cake, as I say, with the current run as well, to go on and get that win against Swansea, which I think they're well capable of doing.
Yeah, I think Swansea did it. I think they did it last season and maybe the year before as well. But that was the first time it had ever been done, like the double. So I think Cardiff getting the double this year would be massive progress as well. And there is that added bite to it. Obviously, it's a derby, but if Cardiff win, they're close enough to make or to look at the playoffs. And if Swansea lose, they're close enough that they could get dragged in if results go against them with relegation. So there's a lot on those games, and it's, I guess, in some ways, it's how the players, the managers, they deal with that pressure in moments when it is emotional and the crowd's loud and the referees getting booed, and all these things are kind of on top in the game. It's who can keep a calm head and produce that bit of quality, or the manager makes a tactical tweak, whatever it may be. But you mentioned Ninian Park. I can't let it go without asking you. But when you joined Cardiff, what was the first game that you remember where you were sort of like, "Wow, Ninian Park, this is a place that sort of." So not necessarily, the biggest game or the best game that you remember, but the first time that you sort of thought, "This is a special place."
Well, I had quite an introduction to Ninian Park because our first league game was at home to Millwall. So that was extremely tasty. You could sense the atmosphere right before the game. That was the first league game of the season. Obviously, I'd seen Ninian Park in pre-season games, but obviously the real atmosphere doesn't happen until the proper games kick in. And that was a proper scary atmosphere. That's something I hadn't experienced at such close quarters before. Similar to that might have been West Ham in the old Upton Park, which was quite an enclosed ground as well. That was quite a scary atmosphere. But that Millwall game in August, Saturday afternoon, and we drew 1-1. And if I remember rightly, after the game, I actually took a penalty in that game, and I remember getting pelted with coins before I took the penalty. Actually, one of the lads was supposed to take the penalty, but he decided he didn't fancy it. Won't name names, and I had to step up and take it. And then after the game, I remember there was people running down the tunnel because the pitch had been invaded or something like that. So that was like a real welcome to Cardiff situation for me, and my first experience in Ninian Park and the atmosphere that it held. And great memories, because what I would say is it can be quite an unforgiving place depending on how well you're doing and how badly you're doing, because they're very passionate. But once they get behind you, it's a scary place to come and play, and a lot of people have said that.
And the other thing I wanted to ask you about, so according to some of your ex-teammates like Mr. Campbell, and so they say you were a bit angry sometimes as a player, like
I don't know what they're talking
in a
about.
big game. I know, and I've done this ridiculous accusations, but it does interest me in like coming into a big game like a South Wales derby. Will the manager say to maybe some of the more fiery players that they got to keep a lid on it? And
I don't remember that ever being said. Listen, there'll be plenty of times where they'd say, "Listen, let's not do anything silly in the first 5-10 minutes of the game. Don't get an early booking, because obviously you're on edge for the rest of the game." But I think a lot of those games, and to be fair, for most games anyway, that they would expect your players like myself or other players who would be, the hard workers in the team, the lads who would bring a little bit of aggression to it, to make sure we impose ourselves early in the game so we can get on top and give the other boys a platform to go on and do their business. So never really remember offhand a manager coming saying, "Let's take it easy, lads, in this game that's coming up." Really, what you're looking for is the passion and to get the fans behind you, because that's the first thing fans will react to. Fans will react to not a great pass or a great shot from distance. They'll react to somebody getting stuck in the first tackle, somebody winning the first header, getting on top, imposing themselves on the game. Then once they've got that and they've got the crowd up, then they'll start obviously enjoying the rest of the game, where you're hopefully getting on top, winning game, creating chances, scoring goals. but they'll be looking for that first 10-15 minutes of passion, because that's what it is when it comes to a local derby. Is they want to see the players on the pitch showing passion just as much as they are on the terraces.
100%, mate. 100%. I couldn't agree more. So we'll be seeing each other very soon. It's coming around quick. What are we now? Yeah. Pretty much 2 months. 2 months from now, you'll be coming over to Wales. When was the last time you were over this way?
It's been a long time, Simon, to be honest. It's been that long, I actually couldn't tell you. I'd say it's over 15 years ago since I've been back to South Wales. I haven't even been to the new ground yet, believe it or not.
What?
No, I don't even know what it looks like. So I'm looking forward. It's a pity it's not during the season. I could have probably taken a game in as well, which I keep saying I'll get over to a game, but with my work at the moment, my weekends are pretty full up. So that's how I've struggled to get over. But I am looking forward to it. I am looking forward to having a catch up and seeing old faces, and obviously go and have a little bit of crack, a couple of questions, a couple of beers, reminisce about old times, probably take a bit of slagging here and there as well. But I'm looking forward to it, and I appreciate for you asking me over as well. It should be a good night.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And obviously 10th of May in the Rose and Crown in Pontypridd. There's still a few tickets left, but not a lot. So if you want to get your tickets, the details are in the description below. Make sure you get your tickets, and we'll see you there. Willie will be there taking photos, schmoozing with the fans. Nah, it's going to be a good crack. It's going to be a real good night. Lots of laughs, and like you say, reminiscing. Lots of Ninian Park talk, I'm sure, as well. So, they're always all the events which we've done so far have been really, really enjoyable, really like relaxed, intimate affairs. The players and the fans just get to, like I say, exchange memories and ask questions. So it's a great night, and I'm really looking forward to it. Very glad that we got, have been able to get you over, and also very glad that it happens to be like 2 days after my wedding anniversary, which just makes it a bit sweeter because you get to take credit for that as well. But the last thing I'll ask you, mate, before I let you go, give me a prediction for Cardiff City versus Swansea on the weekend.
Okay. I'll be honest with you. If Cardiff don't start brightly and Swansea on the upper hand, it'll probably be. I'd look at a 1-1 draw. But if Cardiff can really soak early pressure, I could see them winning 2-0.
Excellent. Willie Boland, it's been an absolute pleasure, my friend. Thank you very much.
That man, Simon, nice to see you. Nice to hear from you. And I'll catch up with you.
See you very soon, mate. Cheers, buddy.